Hello everyone, and welcome to Judy's Creations and Crochet. And today is October the 1st, 2024. Welcome to another slideshow for my monthly mal. And just before we explain all of that, which I will do in a minute, I will just point out that I am wearing a sweater I made a few years ago now, and it's a pattern from Hobie. I can never remember the name of it, but something like Unique Sweater or something. I'll look it up and I'll post it down below. The reason I never made it again, it starts at the bottom at the front, works all the way up and keeps on going over the back and all the way down. Double crochets back and forth. Now it had posts in it and I left the posts out, and it was an easy sweater, but because you're doing straight lines, you get sleeves that look like this. And I've never been really happy about these sleeves. I don't like them that baggy. So I said I would probably make this again sometime, and I will. Oh, I did make it again in the Sparkle DK, the blue, I think it's called Blizzard. And when I got to the sleeves, I changed the hook size as I went down, and I changed the stitch. I went from double crochets to half double to singles, I think, and I went down in size. So I have made it again, but that's the sleeve didn't make me happy. So, but I'll post the name of it in the description box below. I think if I ever made it again, I would stop. I wouldn't go out for the sleeve. I'd just keep going straight up and then pick up the stitches and put a sleeve on it. And today is the day we're always looking forward to seeing the slideshow of your makes. And this month is a special month. As you know, even though it's October 1st when you see this, I'm still filming in September. And Kiki wanted to make a visit to say goodbye to the month. She really likes this particular dress, and she's sad to have to change it for the next month. Has to wait a whole year to wear it again. So she just wanted to make one more appearance before she changes her outfit. So that's it for Kiki. Now let me tell you a little bit, for those of you that are new, I want to tell you a little bit about this mal. And I call it a mal, first of all, because you can do any yarn craft you wish. Most of us here are crocheters, and that's what I get most of. I do get a few that are knitted. I've had people dye yarn. This month we got a felted item. Weaving would also be, and you know what, if you use yarn to do needlepoint, and some people of course would use yarn for plastic canvas. I mean, any of those things would be perfectly acceptable if you use yarn. We're happy to see it, so I call it a mal. You also may make any item you please, and you'll see a wide variety in this slideshow this month. Every month there seems to be something new that we haven't had before. Now what happens is, at the end of this video, after you see the slideshow, I will show you a tropical bird, because this year we're doing tropical birds. I will show you a bird, and my expectation is that you're going to use that bird and the colors in that bird for your inspiration to make something. In other words, use the colors to choose your yarn and make something. And then you send me a picture of it, and I'll talk more about when you send the picture another day, not today. There's certain information that has to come with it when you send me the picture, and then I do this slideshow. Now there is something I do want to talk about, sort of administrative wise. I know that a number of you post your pictures, or maybe on your own Facebook page, maybe on other Facebook pages, and a lot of you post on Instagram. And that's fine. I'm happy for you to show your work. One request I have, which I notice hasn't been happening lately when you post on Instagram, and I really, really would like you to use the hashtag Judy's Mal 2024. Hashtag Judy's Mal 2024. Then they all go into one file, I guess you could call it, and people can go and look up. If they put in that hashtag, they can see what other people have made in the past. And, you know, that's helpful to some people if they want some ideas. So please remember to put that hashtag on your posting in Instagram. I noticed lately it hasn't been happening. So before we get started, I always like to show you what I have made. And oh, where did that ball of yarn? Oh, there it is over there. I'm going to post the picture right here of the bird inspiration, although you saw a lot of it this month. And I used what's called shimmer fingering from EFA. They don't make it anymore, but it was in the color Raven. And I'm still watching for them to come out with this year's version of Raven and see what base they put it on. I know it's coming. I would have thought we'd had it by now, but we haven't. So this is the yarn. You can see it's all blue and black, so it really matches the bird with the blue and the black in it. And I made a pattern called the Relaxation Shawl. I will link that down below. Whoops. I'll bring it in here first. It is on Ravelry. And here it is on the mannequin. Doesn't look great. I was starting to take it off. But while I'm showing it to you, I will post some pictures. I have it on the mannequin and so on so that you can see. It is a circular shawl. I'm beginning to really like circular shawls. And it's called Relaxation Shawl for a very good reason. It is all double crochets. The only thing you have to pay attention to is every so often you have to do 2 double crochets in one in order to make it grow in a circular fashion. You do whatever X number of rows, and then at the bottom you do the lace work. I'm going to hold it upside down so you can see lace work, and it is not difficult at all. Again, it's, you know, double crochets, skip one, or chains, and then there's V stitches into the chains. So I did run into one problem. I had 2 skeins of this, both 400 meters, and this is what I have left, but that's because I tore out the last row and a half because I did not have enough to do another row and a half, which is where I should have ended the pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think there was supposed to be one more, that was a 4-row repeat. And I think there was supposed to be one more row, one complete repeat, and then a couple more rows so that you ended on a row that she thought would make the best border. And I didn't have enough for it. Now, I know I'm a loose crocheter. I didn't think I was that loose, but apparently I am, I'm finding out. So I just took it back to where I thought it looked nice at the edge. So I should have had, you know, a couple more inches on this, but after blocking it, I think it's a good size. It makes it down to my waist in the middle. It's definitely wide enough to go around the shoulders. Most of the circular ones don't go as deep anyway. and it definitely goes around my shoulders quite nicely. So that is done, and I haven't made up my mind if it's going to stay in my personal collection. It is definitely my kind of color, or whether I'll take it to the craft show in November. I do like it, but I don't get the chance to wear shawls very often, so I'm not too sure yet what I will do. But there was this much from two skeins. So if you're an average crocheter or a tight crocheter, you definitely could have done that extra, which doesn't really matter if you did or not, and have made it bigger. But I didn't make it quite as big as it was supposed to be. So I'm just going to put that over to the side for the time being. And we're going to get busy with the slideshow. So I know you're wondering, did I make 50? Well, I'm going to keep you in suspense for just a little bit longer, and maybe you'll know by the time I'm done. So let's get started. Here we go. Josephine from North Carolina has sent us a picture of this virus shawl, as she says is her favorite shawl, and you can see it's in a gradated cake. Then we have Marie from Virginia, and she has a couple of blankets here. The one on the left, she says, is going to be a Christmas gift. The one on the right, she said, it came from a stitch tutorial that she got from Crystal at Bag a Day, and it will be a Boggy Creek blanket. Next, we have from Naomi a couple of cowls that she has designed herself. One is much closer to the neck, snug, and it's called the Sapphire Sun cowl. And the bigger, looser one is called the Midnight Sapphire Sea cowl. And I don't know if I said Naomi was from Washington. I don't think I said that. Then we have Meredith, who is from Ohio. And once again, she has used the pattern from Betty McKnit to make the square that she makes monthly, and said that, sorry, she didn't have time to make a pet blanket this month. And Judy C., who is from Ontario, has made this bag and says, sorry, she added the white that wasn't in the picture, but she thought it made the bag look a little bit better. And then we have Cheryl from Oregon, who has made this spider. Now, I'm not a spider fan, but this is quite cute. And she said she actually combined a couple of patterns to come up with the final result here. And then we have Melissa from Texas. And I think this Melissa is new to our slideshow. And she made this scarf. And she has always made scarves for donations. And this particular one is going to a policeman. Then Barbara B., who is from Missouri, has sent us this bucket hat. Well, she sent us a picture. They've all sent us pictures of this bucket hat. And it is from Katia Creates. And Raylene from South Australia, she has submitted a couple things. First, we have a placemat, and again, a pattern from Bag o' Day, Crystal, using Jacob's Ladder. And this shawl that's called the Peephole Shawl, stitch shawl. She said she saw it on the channel. I did it a while back and just had to do it. This is a pattern that comes from Fiber Spider. And as you all know, he does tutorials on YouTube. Then Judy T, who is in Ontario, once again has done her Serendipity Square. And this pattern comes from Loopy Stitch. I have to tell you, ladies that are making these squares, I am really looking forward to the end of the year to see these put together, to see how these, I'm assuming blankets, because you got quite a few large size squares. Then Denise B, who is from North Carolina, has done a loaf cat. And she got her pattern for the loaf cat from Fame Art, Famous Art with Poonam, YouTube tutorial. I didn't write that very well. I think it's Fame Art with Poonam, Poonam. So I'm not really sure how to say that Poonam, but I spelt it for you. And I almost forgot, sorry. Here is a picture of her puppy, and she made a sweater for her puppy. Then we have Demetra, who is, I think, submitting for the first time. And she has made a headband, nice sparkly black headband. Then we have Kathy from Ontario, who has made this Simple Things. Simple Things is by C.J. Brady, and it could be a scarf or a shawl. I think Kathy made it fairly large, so it is a shawl, I believe. Then we have Lillian, who is also in Ontario. And she has made first this dishcloth that comes from Rich Textures on YouTube, a tutorial on YouTube. And she has also made this small scarf. Then Barbara M, who is in Alberta, has made this cabled tote bag. And the pattern is by Brianna Larapoli. I hope I said the name right. I have yet to try cables. Then Bonnie S, who lives in Pennsylvania, said that she was really sorry she didn't get a big project done because she sold her property and moved all in 1 month. But she wanted to get something in, so I made my 50, so she made this scrunchie. Several of you said you really hoped that I was able to make my 50. You were hoping that you added to it. Renee, who is from Alabama, did this lovely doily, and it is a Peter Sprah, S-P-R-A-H, tutorial that you would find on YouTube. Then we have two, I think both of them are first-time submitters. I may have had one of them submit before. Two sisters. Nina from Massachusetts has done this scarf, and it is from Through the Loop Yarn Craft. And Maria, also from Massachusetts, has done this Benita one skein shawl, which is a pattern from Underground Crafter. And I think you're familiar with her. She is on Ravelry, but she also has a blog, and you can get some of her patterns free on her blog. Then we have Trisha from Saskatchewan, and I'm pretty sure she's a first-time submitter. And she's done this primrose shawl, and again, it is a pattern from Fiber Spider on YouTube. Next, we have Christine, who is from Kentucky, and she has been doing a series of squares from Adore Kriya. And I guess the book it comes from is called Big Beautiful Flower Squares. Okay, moving on. We have Bonnie B, who is from right here in Chatham. And she's done several things this month. First of all, we have the Exodus cowl, and it is a pattern from EFA, Expression Fiber Arts. And it was a cowl pattern that she made into a scarf. I guess she made it longer, and that will go in our donation box. And she made a hat, which is her own pattern. She makes hats her own, doing her own thing. And then we have this shawl, and this shawl is on my to-do list. It's called Count My Blessings, and it's by Ursula. Is it Ursula Wood? And she is OM Granny Square. She has a YouTube channel. Then from Denise H, who is in Minnesota, she has made a cowl and a couple of hats, more than a couple, I think. And she said that the hats were just basically a top-down hat, her own sort of thing. Then we have Jackie from North Carolina, and she has made this blanket, and I don't know if you recognize it, but it is a blanket based on my Boggy Creek pattern that I designed for Boggy Creek, but she's altered a bit. She hasn't put all of the extra rows, top and bottom. And then we have Tanvir, I'm not really sure if I'm saying it correctly, and she is definitely new. She's from India. I'm not sure if she's a follower, but she says her mother is a major fan, and her mother asked her to submit this picture. And this is the Killer Queen shawl, and it is a pattern by Crystal at Bag O' Day. Then Carmen from California has done this striped hat. Maybe it's called Stripes. And it's it's from the Celebrity Slouchy Beanies, a book, I guess, by Leisure Arts. And Melissa from Pennsylvania has done this pouch, and she says this pattern is from Bee Hooked Crochet. And then Dita, who is from Germany, and again, a new person submitting. And she has done this hat that is a Bag O' Day creation. And then she's done this scarf that's reversible scarf, and she got it from a German podcaster. And next, Susan from New Jersey has done this shawl, and she said this shawl was made with yarn that she won from me in the past. We don't have a name, but that's okay. And then Debbie in Arizona has made this baby blanket. And again, I don't know if she followed a pattern or not. And then we have Cheryl from Alabama, and she has knitted this hat, which comes from Knitting California book. I think that's what she said the name of it was. I probably should make better notes, but you know, when you're writing all of this, you get kind of tired. And then Janet, once again, has submitted a shawl. She's from Singapore, And she says this shawl is called Falling Blossoms. It is on Ravelry. I went looking for it because I'd really like to make it. I think it'd be beautiful in some of my Oasis fingering. And then Tina, who comes from Australia, says she made this scarf that will go into donations. And Lisa S., who is in Ontario, has made this, oh, here's a tongue twister, Bubbles Baby Blanket. And the pattern is by Deneen Saint Amour. And then we have Donna from New York. I'm getting a lot of duplicate names, and I try very hard to find a way to distinguish so I know who's who. Now, first of all, she's made a blanket, and it's a Dream Valley blanket by Susan Kennedy. You can find her on YouTube. And then we have some hats. The ones on the left are the simple cluster beanies. I got something here I can't read. Oh, wow. And the ones on the right are Lakeside Beanie by, oh, I see, that's by somebody, Birdie. Anyway, the ones on the right are Lakeside Beanies, and they're by 5 Knots North. And then she did this little birdie. And she said, it's a pattern for a European robin by Stella's Yarn Universe. Doesn't look like a robin, does it, folks? And that's because she purposely changed the colors to fit in with September inspiration. And next we have Cindy, who is in Costa Rica, and she has done this shawl, and it's called the Rivulets Shawl by Fiber Spider. So you know you can find that on the internet, on YouTube. And then Vicki in North Carolina has done this poncho. And I'm thinking, if I read it correctly, the poncho name is Brienne, and it's done by Hooked on Homemade Happiness. Hooked on Homemade Happiness, which I guess that's, she gave it to me as a link online. You have to go online to find her. Then Rebecca, who is in Mississippi, has submitted this shawl. It's called the Log Cabin Granny Shawl, and it's by Hooked by Robin. I think we're all familiar with Hooked by Robin, who has a blog, but also it would be in Ravelry, I think. And HD, who I now know is currently living in India. And she has crocheted this capelet or poncho. Sparkly, if I recall correctly, it's quite sparkly. And then Kimberly, who is in Florida, and again, a new submission, new person to submit to us. She's done this pineapple wrapped on a face, wrapped on a, I can't read my writing, shawl. She's made it into a throw, and again, it's a pattern by Crystal at Bag O' Day. Is anybody keeping track? All right, moving on, we have Diane from Manitoba, and she has modified a pattern, Bella's Mittens, and she's modified it into fingerless gloves. And Kayla from Iowa has done this hat and scarf. I think they're a set, and they are from Bee Hooked Crochet. And Debbie W., who is in California, has done this hat, and it's called the Marin hat by Kimberly McAllendon. And Adam, I think he submitted one of these before. Adam is in the UK, and he submitted a granny cowl, and I think this is maybe the second time he's done one of those. And next we have Daniel, didn't say where he's from, and he is again new to us, submitting for the first time. And this is a hat, and he explained it in some detail, and I have to guess that it's his own pattern. Then we have Hannah from Austria. Hannah is a knitter, and she has made us another emotional support chicken in the colors for the month. She's made quite a few. I don't know, she said maybe 8 or 10 of them. Yeah. Then we have Joyce S., who has made this cardigan, and it's a pattern from MJ's Off the Hook. She said, I think the name of it is actually V-Stitch Summer Cardi. And moving on, we have Anvita, who is from India. And she says this is a test cowl she has done called the Glee cowl. So if it's not in print yet, that's about all she could say about it. Then we have Diane. This is a different Diane, who is new, I believe. I don't think I've had anything from you before, Diane. She's in Wisconsin. And she's done this square, and it's from Kristen Omdahl. And she said something about a shawl. So I don't know if the shawl is made up of these squares or exactly what she was telling me, but the pattern comes from Kristen Omdahl. And then we have Ellen, who is from Illinois. And she has done this poncho, which she says is her own design. And then we have Deb M., and she's from Arizona, and she's done this hat, which is as true to the colors as my ball of yarn, which I don't know where it went now, and it's full of sparkle. So, you know, I like that. And then finally, Donna H., who is from Ontario, says she crocheted this purse and felted it by hand. So am I guessing, Donna, you had one of those special needles that you keep going up and down to felt it. She was not happy with the way the sort of latch turned out. She showed me a before and after, but I just wanted to show you what she finished with. So that's the first time we've had an item felted. Thank you, Donna. So, if you were counting, you know that we more than reached my goal. We had 53 submissions, 53. I was very happy with that. A lot of them came in the last day or two. I really, I think what day was it? Middle of last week. I only had 32, so I didn't know if I'd get that many. And I know somebody else was making something for this mount, and the picture never got to me. I don't know if it's because she didn't finish, because the last time I saw it, she wasn't done yet. So that was another person making for the submission that we didn't even get. So I just have to thank everybody that submitted. I hope you will all keep submitting. It's a lot of work for me to make the notes, and later I have to go and edit the video and get all the pictures in the right place. And I work very carefully to make sure I get the right picture with the right person. If I ever make a mistake and get somebody mixed up, I sincerely apologize, especially now when I have two Melissas and two Donnas and two Barbaras. And at one time I had four Lisas, and I have three Judys. And, you have to be really careful with what you do. I don't think I've made a mistake yet, but I have left people out. And I do always apologize and show them later. But anyway, 53 people. I have to thank all of you. And the interesting thing to me was this month, I had many people submit more than one item. Quite a few people submitted 2 and 3 items. And I really do appreciate how much you support this MAL month after month after month. I get a lot of comments from you telling me how much you enjoy it, and that having the picture gives you some inspiration to making something, because you want to make things and don't know what you want to make. And having that inspiration really helps you figure out what you want to do. And I'm so glad that it helps you. And I'm so glad that you submit. And I know that not just the people that submit, but everybody else that follows me looks forward to this video every month to see the things that you're making. And I get all kinds of comments about how impressed they are with the items you make and how beautiful they all are. So again, thank you all so very, very, very much for participating in my monthly MAL. And most of you will have heard, but for those that didn't, I actually shared what we're going to do next year in January when we start the new year. I know we want to keep going. You enjoy it so much. And we are going to do butterflies next year. I started with colorful insects, and you may think that sounds awful, but I'm going to flash up one picture of a colorful insect that I found, and you'd be surprised at the colorful insects there are out there. But that includes moths and dragonflies and butterflies. And I found that when I was looking at them, my choices were mostly butterflies. So I just decided, let's just do butterflies. And so I have the 12, actually I think I have 13 or 14 picked out that I have to scale back for next year and then start picking my yarn. So I hope you're excited. It sounds like you like the idea of butterflies, so hopefully we'll have even more people participating. And some people said, oh, I'm going to try and get involved next year. I don't know if you have the impression that you have to do it every month. No, you don't. That you can't get involved until the new year starts. No, you don't. You can submit anytime you want. You can submit one month and not another month. I know life gets in the way sometimes, and therefore it's difficult to do it some months. There's nobody keeping track of when you submit and when you don't. You do it when you can. Sometimes it's because life gets in the way. Other times it's because you just don't have the yarn, the right color to do it. And a lot of people are using this as a way to stash bust. So, and I'm glad that this is helping you use your stash. We need some inspiration for that, don't we? Now, the next thing we do is look at, doesn't seem to want to open up here. I have put all the names on the wheel. Sometimes people ask not to be put on the wheel. I would like to say this. If you ask to not be put on the wheel because you don't want to receive a gift, that you will end up having to pay taxes or VAT in Europe or whatever it is that are high. First of all, the item I send is usually $20-25, so it's not a high priced item. The other thing is, if you would like to participate in the draw, but you don't want to receive a physical item, just say to me, I don't want an item in the mail, and I will gladly gift you a pattern in Ravelry. Now, helps to have a Ravelry account, and I think I've talked about Ravelry enough here that most of you have decided to get a Ravelry account. I would be more than happy to gift you a Ravelry pattern if you do not want to receive a physical item in the mail. You just have to, when you email me, when I ask for the address, just email and say, I don't want a physical item. Would you mind gifting me a pattern instead? And I'd be happy to do that in place of that. So anyway, here's our wheel, and you know I'm very careful with this now. It says it has 52 entries. That's because one of the people did not want to be put on here, and I think that's the reason, that they are afraid of receiving something and having to pay high duties. So here we have it. I'm going to tap the wheel. It's going to spin, and we're going to wait till it completely stops and see who the winner is. I can hardly read the names. They're all so small now. Debbie W. Debbie W. is in California. And I know that I don't have your your mailing address, Debbie. So you need to contact me. My email address is in the box below, but you would know that. You've sent me a picture, so you've used my email address. Please get in touch with me when you see this and send me your mailing address, and I will get something off in the mail to you. And this is what Debbie is getting. One of these cakes. This happens to be from Hobie, one of their Cotton King cakes in all of these blues. I thought this was a good choice to end the September Mal all in blues, and it feels quite nice. So this is what you'll be getting, Debbie. Please get in touch with me. Congratulations to you. All right. Now, I also know the other reason that everybody is sitting there on the edge of their seat is because we're all anxious to see the bird for October. We want to know, well, what are we working with next month? So I'm going to put a picture up and fill the screen with next month's bird. Here we go. And that allows you, I'll leave it there for a good few seconds, and that allows you to get a screenshot, because I know a lot of you like to take a screenshot of the picture. Some of you send it back in your submission. Some of you have YouTube channels and you like to show what you're working on, and you put up the picture of the bird. Some of you like to just have it to refer to throughout the month without having to go back and search my YouTube channel. So I hope that was long enough to get the screenshot. And I'm now going to put the bird up beside me in just a second while I show you the yarn I've decided on. Now I have this color. I may or may not put in it. It does have a little of this color. And these are the two skeins I'm going to use. To me, those are the two colors of the bird, and this is the third color. This covers it all. If I can find something like a shawl that's a two-color where I can put in just a little bit of accent of this color, then that's what I'll do. Otherwise, I may be only using these two. Now, this is a yarn from the color of my fiber. She's in Quebec, and you know that I get her yarn on Etsy, and this is called Dragonfly, and it is merino nylon 80/20. Feels very nice. And this one is Vitellana I got this back, Vitalana Oasis, back when I had a Knit Crate subscription. And again, very soft, but different. You can tell this has, yeah, 50% alpaca, 25% Peruvian Highland Merino, and 25% Surrey alpaca. It says it's a DK weight, and it only has 252 yards. Now, this I know is fingering, but quite honestly, I don't see a lot of difference. I don't see a lot of difference in the weight. Let me see if I can turn it around this way. There we go. There we go. See, the weight doesn't look a lot different, but I'm beginning to see where people more and more are putting different weights together in items, especially shawls. And you know, shawl's my thing. It just means that I'll have to find a shawl where this is the predominant color and it has less of this color, because I only have 250 yards of that, and 320 meters, which is about 350. So I have more of this than this. But if I need 350 of both, maybe I can do the extra, some of this color with this. I don't know. It's going to take being a bit innovative to get that to work. And I'm sure I can do something with those. So let me just hold them up once more next to the picture and see the colors. So that's my challenge for this month, to figure out what to make with those. Now we have to look at next month's calendar. And the 31st is on a Thursday, and November the 1st is on a Friday. So do we want to do the 31st and the 1st combined in one? I think I just might do that. I think I might, rather than come to you Thursday and come to you again Friday. If I change my mind, I'll let you know ahead. But to make 2 videos in the same few days is, especially this video, it takes a lot of work. I'm once again going to say that I would like your submissions to me by October the 27th. The 27th is a Sunday night. If I don't get them till Monday morning, you know, if you do it during the night, I know when you're on the other side of the world, it may get to me Monday morning. That's fine. I won't actually start making the notes for the video until Monday afternoon. So they could even get to me early Monday morning. But the 27th is the date that I'm going to put out there as the deadline date, October the 27th, using those colors and whatever item you decide you would like to make. So that's October information. I'm also going to be working on the Advent, it's not an Advent, the October mini collection in October. So I may have to, I don't think so. I think I can do this in a half an hour and do another 15-20 minutes of my normal October stuff. So I think we're good for one day. I will do it on probably Thursday the 31st. The video will come out. I could do it on the 1st. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with that. I'm not going to change my mind right here. If I do change my mind, I can get in touch with you, can't I? So anyway, that's our slideshow for September. It was a great month. I want to thank all of you for all the participation, for joining me and making this a special month, and making the slideshow also a special month, because I know some of you made a very special effort to send me pictures to go in the slideshow and get to my goal. I know I can count on my viewers. Thank you so much. So have a great day, and we'll see you again on Thursday. Until then, happy hooking.